Financial market news from GoldClays. The Russian government threatened this Thursday, first, to suspend the supply of oil and derivatives to so-called hostile countries if they decide to impose restrictions and limit the price of Russian oil. If they impose price restrictions, we will simply not supply oil and oil products to the companies or states that impose them, as we will not work in a non-competitive manner, Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak announced in statements released by the Russian news agency News, TASS. According to the Russian politician, interference in the market mechanisms of the oil industry only destabilizes it, in addition to making European and North American consumers pay even higher prices. Eurozone inflation hits record, consumer prices rose 9.1% YoY in August, beating the 9% estimate. Core inflation jumped 4.3%, a new ATH as well. Above all, rising core inflation is also putting pressure on the ECB. Statistics show that energy prices have seen the biggest rise in inflation, reaching 38.3%, and items such as food have jumped 10.6%. In addition, non-energy industrial goods increased by 5% compared to the value of these goods measured last year. Ripple is facing serious problems, according to analyst Armin Shirinian. According to him, despite Ripple's brief success in court and relatively calm performance in the market, XRP has lost an important level of local support. This is not good for token performance. After all, this support should have been the basis of a possible future rally. The analyst explained that the trend line formed in July when XRP bounced off the local psychological resistance of 30 cents. Following the increased selling pressure, XRP dropped over 10% in less than 24 hours, performing another test that seemed successful at first. Unfortunately, the US economy continued to create jobs at a solid pace in August, but wage growth slowed and the unemployment rate rose surprisingly, adding to signs of a slight cooling in the labor market. Non-farm payrolls rose by 328,000 mid-month, a slowdown from July's 526,000, but clearly ahead of consensus forecasts for a gain of 300,000. Wage growth also slowed more than expected, with average hourly wages rising by just 0.3% instead of the expected 0.4%. This dropped from 0.5% in July. Thus, the annual earnings growth rate was 5.2%, well below the current inflation rate. The Eurozone Producer Price Index jumped 37.9% in July compared to the same month last year, gaining strength from the 35.8% annual increase observed in June, according to data published this Friday, too, by the Eurostat, as the official statistics agency of the European Union is known. The July results surpassed the expectations of analysts consulted by the Wall Street Journal, who had forecast an annual increase of 37%. In relation to June, the block's PPI increased 4% in July. In this case, the market forecast was for a 3% increase. The cryptocurrency market was trading higher this Friday, 02. By 9 a.m. in the morning, Bitcoin, Ethereum and other altcoins were trading profitably. The top cryptocurrency on the market held above the $20,000 support level. According to CoinGecko, the price of BTC was around BRL 105,242, up 1.4%. Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency, was trading up 2.8%. The price of ETH rose to 8,328 Brazilian reals around 9 a.m. The price of the dollar and stablecoins rose more than 1% in the last closing, being quoted at 5.25 Brazilian reals. With proof of work, POW, mining coming to an end on Ethereum, Ethermine, the largest mining pool on the network, has launched a new service. Called Ethermine Staking, the new pool is geared towards mining via proof of stake, POS. The move is part of Ethermine's adaptation to the network's new consensus, which will arrive from September 15th. But Ethermine will not just stake Ether, ETH, in the traditional way, but with improvements and adaptations. In normal staking, users must invest at least 32 ETH, which is around BRL 260,000. This figure is too high for most users, but Ethermine staking will bring a collective staking service. Bitcoin, BTC, dominance, which corresponds to the market cap of BTC relative to other cryptocurrencies, has dropped below 40%, registering its second lowest percentage in the last 8 months, according to data from CoinMarketCap. In June of this year, Bitcoin's dominance reached its highest value of the year of around 48%. The dominance of the biggest cryptocurrency on the market has remained below 50% for 15 months. The historic low of 36.83% took place on January 8, 2018, at a time when other digital assets, the altcoins, soared in price in the so-called alt season. After that, BTC.D rose again to over 70% in August 2019. Oil prices climbed on Friday on expectations that OPEC Plus will discuss output cuts at a meeting on September 5, though concern over China's COVID-19 curbs and weakness in the global economy continue to limit gains. Brent crude futures were up $1.73, or 1.9%, at $94.09 a barrel by 13:50 GMT, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate, WTI, crude futures advanced $1.69, or 2%, to $88.30. Both benchmarks slid 3% to 2-week lows in the previous session. Brent was on course for a weekly drop of nearly 7%, and WTI of about 5%. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and allies led by Russia. The issue, which happened in Georgia, was exploited by just 0.001% of customers, the exchange said. Coinbase users in Eastern Europe, Georgia, exploited a price bug and were able to cash out their holdings at 100 times the exchange rate, pocketing thousands of dollars in profit. On Wednesday, 31, Georgia's national currency, the lari, quoted at $2.90, was worth $290 on the cryptocurrency exchange. In an email to CoinDesk, Coinbase attributed the missing decimal point to a third-party technical issue. The error allowed users with $100 worth of lari on the exchange's platform to withdraw $10,000. Financial market news from GoldClays.